Okay. This is so weird. Can anyone hear me? Okay. Let's in the settings. Change how big or small the icon is. I'm just chilling. It's my day off. And I'm basically, I guess, just gonna like screencast what I watch and stuff like that. So what I was doing, you can see my search history. You can see what it's about. Just stuff I listen to while I work. I wanted to take a look at Brett Keane. When you search for Brett Keane, of course, this is what comes up. I'm gonna eat me some cookies. Hold on a minute. Finally, after all that scrolling, we get to his channel. Brett Keane has changed his picture. I quite like the picture he had there before. Now, how I found Brett Keane was, I was, it's a long story. I was in that whole, I guess they call it the Hoven sphere now. But what it was I had a friend who hadn't spoken to me in like 7 years. And then all of a sudden he was like, he found me on Facebook, reached out to me, told me where he was. And I was like, oh, cool. But then like he kind of described some of the controversy about it. And had he not done that, I probably wouldn't have even looked into it because I don't really care about stuff like that, you know? And, but then I looked into it and I was like, oh, okay. I probably shouldn't just sit here on his channel. Let me go sit here on my channel. So, yeah, my little channel. But my whole point was Brett Keane. Like, okay, I was seeing the beef between Cindy Lincoln and Mark Stoney and Kent Hovind and everybody else. And at the time where I come in, it was around the time that Brett was letting people come onto his channel and air it out, you know. And I even rewatched one of those videos the other day. And like, I subscribed to Brett after seeing that channel. I was like, oh, cool, this could be a reliable source for what's going on. And then it was like, he would flip and flop, you know? He would change his mind and he would change sides and this and that. And I was like, that's not cool, you know? And then another time I was listening to one of his videos and he starts going through his Patreon tiers and he was like, for $1,000 we could meet up and have lunch. I'm like, who is this guy? Is he somebody famous? Did he do something? Did he write something? Is he on TV? Is this a famous dude? Like, to someone that's just checking in and not really paying attention, he was good at that time at giving off that persona. But then Mark Stoney put out a video, said Brett Keane doesn't flip, he rolls with how much he changes side. He just keeps rolling. But I thought that was funny. And then you can guess what I came across next. The Drunken Peasants podcast. And I have just been such a big fan ever since. Now, I'm going to take another bite of my cookie because it's just sitting here in my hand. Okay, I'm back. I'm eating those Oreo cookies, the Space Dunk ones, but they're like the sugar cookies, the ones that people think are nasty. Um, so, yeah, and then, like, I'm aware that, like, the Drunken Peasants are not, it's not the same dudes that it was before. Like, I'm aware that the other three, they have um, their own little show, the, Deep Fat Fried, and their pessimistic podcast, and all of that, or pessimistic productions, whatever. I like all of them, you know? I like TJ, Scotty, Paul Zigo, Ben, Billy. I'm not sure what really happened. Like, I think it's a shame, but like, I think I've just, like, I've seen so many of their old shows. I'm actually running out of content to watch. And, excuse me. But, yeah, I'm not good at doing this. I'm not good at talking, but you gotta start somewhere. And just the little bit that I've tried to do, the little bit of just putting myself out there after being gone for a long time. But let's watch some shit. Like, let's see how this works out. Let's see if it seems fine. Just want to give you an idea of who I'm a fan of and who I'm not. I like to hate on Brett Keane, I guess. Not hate on him. He's just fucking dumb, and I think he knows what he's doing. I really do. I think he knows that he's just a great big troll. I think because his video type, look, Brett, if you ever hear this, I got a brother that reminds me a lot of you, alright? And it's a shame that, it's a shame that you're such a fucking backstabber the way that you are, you know, because you seem like you'd be a cool dude other than that. Because I can appreciate your aesthetic, I can appreciate the shit that you're into. But just oh gosh, I see what you're trying to do, and you've been trying to do it for years and it's not working. So, yeah. No, but the individual situation vanity compilations are my ASMR. Sorry, I guess I'm a terrible person. But why is there so many hours of just that? It's just great. I mean, that shit's gotten me through some bad times. So if anything, Brett, thank you for that. Let's have a look at your channel and let's see if I get in trouble. Probably if, yeah, it's just all the scrolling you have to do just to find you. And I see you finally broke over 600 subscribers. And it's like you see the only time you get, a oh shit, I didn't mean to click on that. Let me hold on. Hold on now. Oh gosh. See, okay, I think that Ben and them overdo it when they bring up the fucking this shit, the him with the microphone and the gif, but that does throw me off. Normally I'm listening, I'm not watching, so when I have to hear that over and over, I'm like, Jesus, Ben, shut up. Say something. See, I guess that's just what happens, because I watch all their shows. Like, I'll listen to the Drunken Peasants Afternoon shit and their normal show, and so there's a lot of things that I do hear over and over again, but I guess it's just inevitable when you're constant. I know my husband has heard the same fucking shit from me over and over and over again, so, why would it be any different here? Yeah, it's like if you would give an actual answer to the questions that the atheists have, maybe they quit fucking asking. Just saying. Literally nobody cares, and that's irrelevant to anything. You've been saying the same shit about Paul's ego for years. Like the one wife that left him. I mean, if you're talking about two different occasions, because you said like a couple years ago. I mean, I see. His podcast hasn't been doing very well. Okay. Kicked him out on his dirty fat ass. Yeah, that was the whole point, and then you gotta throw in Paul's ego situation, and no one cares. Like, get to your point. Why did they start calling you that? Oh, because I'm not gonna get into because they were being mean, pretty much. because because he laid in his room on his belly in his dirty squalor ass fucking room, recording videos, was snoring and blubbering and then oh, I can't remember exactly where it first started. I keep thinking about that Typo Negative cover that you did. Brett, you did a decent job. I know they really tore into you about it, but it was quite funny. It was funny, but you're not that terrible at the singing and stuff. I don't know why you gotta be just such a. I don't know. I don't know. It's a phenomenon. It's just. Nobody like you is ever gonna happen again. You know? You're one of a kind, Brett. I immediately. That's really weird for you to just sit there on a picture of Holly's face. You're just creepy. I know you're trying to like drag TJ and them, but like, yeah, I don't know, you do shit like this, and that's the kind of shit I have a problem with. Holly's just out here living her life, and she don't want to be, she probably don't want to be like associated with this shit. You know, I think should have like blocked you on Facebook once because you sent a message to her where you were like, I'm sorry that you have to be married to someone like the Amazing Atheist, and she like blocked you. It's just weird. It's creepy. I mean, and this manatee shit has been like a long time ago. I know Ben. See, like the individual Brett Keane situation segment thing is a thing on DP, like still, but I didn't see anything like about him last year. Like he's not as talked about as he used to be, and he's still just trying to like ride this whole thing that happened years ago. And like Brett Keane seen that whole fight was going on with Kent Hovind, Cindy Lincoln, Mark Stoney, Julia Shunk, her husband, Nick. Like, he took advantage of that whole thing. And then when Kent wouldn't give him a shout out, you know, or Kent wouldn't talk about Brett's channel, that, you know, then that's when he would flop, you know. Because, like, it was really shady how Brett Keane just kept flip-flopping in that situation. Where, okay, here's one side, Mark Stoney and Cindy Lincoln. Cindy Lincoln was body slammed by her ex-husband Kent and was emotionally and spiritually abused by Kent. And then you got, you know, Mark Stoney, who stood up to Kent when Kent had a registered sex offender on the property with a child. He had a kid with him. And, you know, I heard that voice recording, and that shit is on Cindy and Mark's channels. It was a meeting that Kent and everybody at Dinosaur Ventureland had after Mark Stoney decided to leave. And Chris Jones was in that meeting, Paul Hansen was in that meeting, Kent Hovind, Cindy Lincoln, all of them in that meeting, and they were talking. It's just weird. You ought to go on there and look at it. It's just really strange. You know, so it's like Brett Keane flopping between the right side, you know, the people who aren't for having pedophiles around children at a children's, you know, park and stuff. Hold on a minute. Okay, I think I might be fine now. No, I still feel it. There's like this booger in my sinuses, and when I talk, I can, like, I don't know, it's weird. I can feel it move around and shit. But anyway, yeah, I didn't even need to find the drunken peasants to know what a duplicitous fuck that Brett Keane is, because he displayed it himself in the way he would flip-flop between, oh, and now I support Kent Hovind, and now I don't, when it was like he would suddenly not support Kent Hovind at a drop of a hat. He would suddenly not support Mark Stoney and Cindy Lincoln at a drop of a hat. His ideology, his morals change at the drop of a hat in whatever situation could benefit him the most. And that's something I kind of learned about some of my own family members. I kind of learned, like, there's not really, like, maybe I should make this. See, and I'm sitting here on this poor girl's face now. I'm new to this, forgive me. I should find something else to sit on when I go on tirades. I guess just sit on this. But then her face is still there. I don't even want to listen to him anymore. So I also follow the King Cobra stuff and the Naked and Laughing stuff. And I tell you what, I have seen some crazy shit when I get on this girl's page. And it'll be like at random times, you know, it'll be like, one time it was like 4 in the morning when I woke up too early and I was getting ready for work. And, she fucking like hocked a loogie right on her keyboard. Like, started freaking out, just was like, bleh. I'll probably go get like copyrighted, however you call it. See, I've been off the internet for like a decade. Not off the internet, but I haven't really been on it. I've had to work for a living, y'all. I've had to like, look at this loud noise to find my earbuds. Let's look at some dumb Kent Hovind shit. See, I watched that documentary made by this guy, and I just feel like there should be more views on this fucking video. See, I used to watch Kent Hovind's videos, like, after my friend told me that he was there. So, when I would be working, I'd be listening every night at like, it'd be 9 o'clock my time, I think, because they were an hour behind me. And I would listen, and this went on for months, every single day. And it really took a toll on me emotionally. And going through this whole experience, down this whole rabbit hole that is the Hovind sphere, it's really helped me a lot with my own past traumas and my own problems, and reconnecting with my friend after 7 years. It was very different because he's a different person. And as an adult looking at my childhood friend, I finally see him for what he is. And I still love you, by the way. Just because you're a Christian and I'm not, doesn't mean that you have to distance yourself from me. I know it seems like I think it might be painful for my friend that is a Christian to be friends with me, because in his head, I'm damned and I'm going to hell. And it's really hurtful to hear him say things like that in his videos, but I listen to each and every one of his videos because I'm a supportive friend, because I miss him. I haven't seen him in person in a decade. My whole world went dark when he moved away. He moved away with no notice, didn't tell me, and that played a part in some of the choices that I made. Because after that all happened, I just didn't give a shit. And that's not his fault, not at all, but it's part of my life, and I can feel how I want to about it. Just like you're more than welcome to feel that I'm some damned hell-bound reprobate da 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 da. One time he messaged me and he said, you know, despite our differences, you're a really good mother. I guess because I'm an atheist, I guess I'm an atheist. Um, I don't hold no title. I don't care. You know what I mean? I just kind of popped into it in existence and I didn't ask to be here and but I'm gonna make the most out of my life and be a good person and raise a good person and I don't know what you thought I would be as a mother because in fact I know a lot of religious mothers that are just god awful. It makes me wonder because they say something along the lines of like the devil comes in the form of a false light. And I really just think that's what religion is. It's a false light. I really think that it's like humans, are so hurt and saddened and grief stricken and just torn all the way up when somebody they love is dead and they want to believe that they are still living on for all eternity, someplace beautiful, and their soul is safe and they're at peace and they're not hurting, they're fine. And that's well and good to believe that. And you can believe that without um all this other shit that comes with it. And I'm just gonna be really open right now. I was assaulted at church as a kid by an older kid. And that's not what gets me. What gets me was the adults. The adults seen it. And they didn't do anything. And they looked at me in disgust. So, at least in my small neck of the woods, I don't trust religious folk. In the South, I don't trust y'all either. I don't trust anybody. I trust people that are good to me, regardless of what you are. You know what I mean? And even though my friend that used to stay at DAO, even though he doesn't talk to me that much anymore, that's totally fine, and I get why. I wonder how the stream is going. It's probably going poorly. Let's watch. I'm gonna end the stream and I'm gonna see if all the audio really sounds like that, and if it does, I'm gonna be so pissed off. We'll see what happens.